What would you say the actual meaning or the use of all of this is?
That in truth, human beings are extremely powerful, unimaginably powerful.
When you said that word self-mastery project, what is that self that I'm trying to master?
Self-mastery is not a destination.
Words like psychospiritual.
It will have an impact on you, and you're better off knowing that you should not be walking off the edge.
There are a lot of workshops which are 4 days, 2 days, a weekend workshop. Why not that? Why a whole year?
So it has to be a serious investment to, at least from looking at my life like I'm a victim of my life, to looking at my life that, okay, I'm in the driving seat, now what? My energy, mind, body levels, these 3 levels, there's a sustained impact.
Hi.
Hi.
So thank you for coming. I had to pull you in for this super quick, spontaneous, but a very casual conversation about my favorite topic, self-mastery project. I think it's been a year and a half, 2 years close to since I've done this with you. While I was doing that, there were a lot of questions coming up because it's not first of all, it's not even an easy title to understand.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of questions, and as far as I could, I explained it to them. But I thought I should pull you in and have you say this and have you explain this and break it down for us. Just to start with, when you said that word self-mastery project, what is that self that I'm trying to master?
Right.
Or what am I trying to do there?
Absolutely. Right. Firstly, I think I want to say that self-mastery is not a destination. So when someone does this program, it is not to imply that there is a particular destination where you will be declared a master, and doing this program is going to take you to that destination. That is why I didn't call it a program, I called it a project.
Yeah.
Because this is a project for life, and hence self-mastery project. Self is the person that you live with, right? And it is not about how the world sees you. It's not about all the tags and identities that you respond to or that one carries when one engages with life, with the world at large. It's about the person that you live with on a day-to-day basis, and how much of that does it feel like it is challenging? How much of that do you feel is not entirely under your own control? Self-mastery is really about looking deep into oneself.
Now I understand, but this itself is a challenge by its own. When you're saying what is self, because that's how when you ask me what am I only come in relation to my environment, my immediate environment, family, with the world at large, gender, for example.
Yeah.
For us to break out of that and even address that single self that you're talking about,
Yeah.
will be the first biggest challenge
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah. Invariably, I start the program with the question, who am I? And I end the program also with the question, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I is a question that one can ask of oneself forever.
Every day,
For as long as we live. So hence, there is no question of arriving at some mastership as a destination, but it's more to say that let's begin that process.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. Why this? When I described the program and the contents of it, so they said, why did you think I need to do it?
Right.
It was
Right.
a huge thing. One, I must say that it's a taboo for us to even say it out that we need to do something about ourselves. We love to live behind this curtain saying everything is fine, all is good, we're doing great. And that's the most common, sort of facade that we live behind. So when people ask me why I'm not in any pain, I'm not struggling with anything. So according to you, do they need to be in a certain place of challenge, struggle, pain for them to take this up?
Yeah, so very good question. When we're talking about self-mastery, it is one way of looking at it is to say, I am anchoring or locating myself internally in a place that I have recognized is me. And I am operating or engaging with life from that internal location. So, as you know, I come from that perspective, a metaphysical perspective, right? That is my take on life, and that is why I do what I do. My identity that I hold with the external world does not give me the kind of anchoring that I need when the storms blow.
Yeah.
Right?
Up until then, we're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, this is to say that you don't have to have a storm blowing right now. And in fact, that's a great time to do this program.
Exactly.
Because this is like, between peacetime and wartime, this is peacetime, which is when the preparation has to happen.
Yes.
For
Absolutely.
when
For the war.
For the war.
Yeah.
So when you're in a good place, in fact, I would say, is really a good place to come into this project and get a sense of who is this person that I call as me, and what are my strengths, what are my weak points, and not just as an comparison with people around, but simply to know my own strengths and to develop those muscles which I may not have developed. And I don't mean physical muscles.
Now I know.
Yes. Exactly like you would go to the gym. When we
I
don't
know.
go to a gym when we
get sick.
Yes, when we get sick. We go to the
Yeah.
gym to be strong and fit.
Yeah.
It's the exact same process.
Building a muscle.
Yes.
It's a different kind of muscle that we don't
Yes.
recognize and that we need to build.
Yes.
Fabulous. Words like psychospiritual, metaphysics. So these are the words that sort of make them say like, hey, stop, no, what is this? Like, why do I need to do these things?
I come from a firm anchor in the idea of all human beings are essentially non-physical beings. This in itself is spiritual. Spiritual is not a particular kind of a practice. Spiritual is not a particular process. We are all spiritual in this context, given that we are all essentially non-physical. Okay?
Correct.
So, this program, we engage with ourselves with this primary understanding or fundamental understanding that we are essentially spiritual beings, and we are also engaging with the psyche from that point of view. And there are certain frameworks that I teach in the program, like the Enneagram, which is considered as a psychospiritual tool. So that's what is meant by psychospiritual. That is a perspective.
Correct. So in the core of it all, like what would you say the actual meaning or the use of all of this is? Like I said, for me, I had to experience and see it for me to have a firmer belief.
My journey into this area of study, and not just study in terms of research, but application and daily practice of all of these principles and this understanding started off when I was on a down. When life had really, I was down, all the way down to as down as one can be, and I was very earnestly searching for a way out of the place that I had reached. And then I chanced upon a lot of knowledge that helped me get out of that place, until I reached a place where I realized that in truth human beings are extremely powerful, unimaginably powerful. And I realized how unfortunate it was that majority of us live the whole of our lives, even maybe, with experiencing our lives as a helpless victim of life.
Yeah. Victim of just chances and circumstances.
Yes. So even though we speak about empowerment and we speak about self-development and so on, the best many of us are able to say is that, okay, I'm well equipped, and no matter what comes, I think I will be able to manage it. But that's not even 50% of the kind of power that we truly possess. Even in saying that, what we are saying is that we are a passive recipient of whatever life throws at me. I'm here.
Correct.
Life throws situations at me. Okay, now that I'm educated, I have whatever I have equipped myself with,
Yeah.
okay, I can cope and I
Yeah.
can survive. We can get actively involved in creating our destiny, participating in the creation and the design of our own destiny. So when once I realized that this was the true potential in human beings, like you said a while ago, it felt
Yeah.
unfair
Yeah.
that this is not shared.
Yeah.
So over the years, this program was put together simply by drawing upon a lot of areas of study that I myself engaged in, which have helped me immensely. And I put this program together. So it is really for self-study. What is self-mastery? What is it for? It is for self-study and starting to walk on the path of personal power. I wish to enable and facilitate every human being to move out of this victim location. That is the, if you ask me for one reason,
Yeah.
that is the one reason. And anybody, you don't have to be down right now, you don't have to be ill right now, but anybody who understands the idea of being in a victim location and is looking to come out of it, this program is for them.
Fabulous. Wow. Beautifully, you've designed the course by introducing these very, very practical things that we need in our everyday life. So, would you like to speak a little bit about these things?
Spirituality, like I said, is a given simply because we are energy beings essentially, and by that definition, we are all spiritual. Now, spirituality is not some place to arrive at or some kind of a bar that we have to strive to reach. It's no such thing. You are spiritual. Now, you would call yourself spiritual or not, everybody is spiritual. But the part of the term spiritual that I find very relatable is that when you start to see yourself as this being who is essentially energy field, and then approach your life from that perspective, I found a lot of advantage in the way that I manage my everyday life. And it's not just about being spiritual. Even all the tools that you mentioned, like the Enneagram, we talk about relationships. There's a whole module on relationships, critical conversations. The course of the curriculum is to first introduce ideas about your true identity, and then from that identity, enable the participants to start to take that understanding into their everyday life.
Yeah.
Because spiritual growth and development does not mean how do I get to there, because there is no there to get to.
There is no there.
For me, spiritual growth and development will mean how can I live this life successfully?
Correct.
In other words, how can I be a real human being?
How about privacy of all of this that we're bringing out? Because we're in a group and we're going in this journey with a group.
Right.
What do you say about that?
First of all, at no point is anybody compelled to do anything. Okay. So this unmasking process is a very organic process that is determined by each individual based on their own comfort at their own pace. So, as a program director, or when I'm conducting these modules, teaching, whatever processes we go through, nobody is forced. So, that I want to put out there as to address that concern.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that being said, assuming that everyone is coming in with a serious intention of investing in their own discovery to empower themselves, I think repeatedly, I've run several batches of this program from so many years. Repeatedly, what I've observed in every group without exception is that people, since there is no pressure from the outside to get them to do it, they ease into the program and voluntarily start to free themselves of any inhibitions. Okay, of engaging with those parts of them that are not as pretty as they would have projected in the past. And interestingly, it is a liberating experience because now I don't have to pretend to you something that I'm not. And you are okay to see me the way I am, so then why the hell am I
Yeah.
pretending?
Yeah.
So that becomes a shared group experience. They may be coming in at different times based on their comfort and a different pace, at a
Yeah.
different pace, but eventually, sooner rather than later, they realize the advantage of not having to wear a mask and realize that that is a lot more freeing, liberating, and empowering than having to wear the mask. I've had couples be in the
Wow.
same program together. I've had
How did you handle that?
siblings, close friends, and it is a common concern
Yeah.
because we have a certain image, and even within our family, there is a certain image, and
Yeah.
beyond
We
that,
all
we
hold.
are unwilling to disclose. Forget family, I am not willing to see it myself.
Yeah.
I myself am not willing to see those parts of me, but the group also, the kind of group that comes together, I think I should mention that the
Yeah.
kind of people who are attracted and who come together to form the group, they've always been a very, very supportive group. And the bonding is very deep,
Yeah.
and the
That.
process has been very, very organic. The process of discovery, self discovery, uncovering to the point of bonding at a very intimate level. That has been the nature of these programs and these groups, particularly. I think to some extent, I might say that as facilitators of the program, be it myself or the yoga teachers who help me, the coordinators, the team that is
Yeah.
involved, I think we do contribute to some extent to create that environment to begin with, that it's a safe place. Use the space to your advantage. And it has always happened that way.
The respect for privacy, and for the kind of things that are shared there, is has always been there. I never. It was for me a place of comfort than a concern.
Correct. So then that need to be guarded actually starts to drop. There's amazing group level bonding and intimacy every single time.
Yeah, very freeing. That's
Yes.
true. Can you tell us what is an adult learning experience or a
Okay.
program?
So once I have signed up, the responsibility is on me to learn from it. The responsibility is on me to draw the maximum value from it. So that is what I mean by adult learning. You are an adult, you've
Correct.
signed up, you know why you're here, you know what you want from here. You make sure you get what you want. It's on you.
So a lot of people ask me why 1 year, because that will take away so much of our time. We can't plan so much ahead. There are a lot of workshops which are 4 days, 2 days, a weekend workshop. Why not that? Why a whole year?
When I started this program, I used to offer many of the elements of this program as standalone workshops. Two things primarily. One is when there is no sustained engagement with this subject, and there are these big gaps, and there is no clear idea when the next program will be announced, what that topic will be, and different groups of people, although there may be a few who are doing most of them, different groups of people coming together and going through each of these programs. I realized that the value, or rather, I would say the impact I was making on their personal growth and development was not to my satisfaction. So I said, no, there has to be some kind of a long term sustained engagement
Correct.
with people who want to be on this journey.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's point number one. Point number two is this shift from a victim location to a position of power, Sushmita, is like turning a ship around. Most of us live our life however privileged we are, however resourceful we are, irrespective of the background that we come from.
Yeah.
Most of us live from life is being unfair to me. I did not get what I deserve, taken advantage of. I'm a victim. Even when other people are not involved, the circumstances that we have to pass, we end up feeling helpless and powerless about what do I do when such a thing happens to me. That is the way we are all programmed, let us say, out of habit to think of ourselves, and then that is the attitude with which we engage with life. Now, to turn this ship around, to say that, oh, I'm not a victim, I am the creator, and I somehow am doing this to myself. Now, to understand this concept and to actually make that shift, it requires consistent engagement with this idea combined with regular practices, and we offer a lot of practices and tools. So, it has to be a serious investment to, at least from looking at my life like I'm a victim of my life, to looking at my life that, okay, I'm in the driving seat, now what?
Yeah.
That shift requires continuous engagement. So I felt that if I really want to make an impact, and this is why I do what I do, then the program should, the program design should reflect this and should serve this end. And if I might add, I have, this year gives me the time to, say, introduce tools like Reiki and yoga. And as you know,
Yeah.
yoga, we have 2 classes a week, every week for the whole year.
Yeah.
So 2 times a week minimum, we are getting to engage with the student. And the Reiki practices are also, which are spread through the year. So both at the my energy, mind, body levels, these 3 levels, there's a sustained impact.
Correct.
And this I will not exchange for anything shorter. And I think all of us need not have to think of giving ourselves just 1 year of serious attention.
Yes.
I think that's the least that we deserve.
Very true, Usha, because for me also, it gave me a space and a scope to, as and when we learned these modules, to experiment with what we learned, experience what came out of it, and come back to you for the next module and to tell you, this is what happened and I failed miserably, or wow, this is what I discovered.
Beautiful.
So it gave me that space through the whole year to experience, experiment. So then that sort of became, it went into my skin, deep into me, which I would have not happened if it was you go somewhere, do a workshop, come back, versus this. This program actually introduced me to myself. Like I met a whole new person.
Wow.
Like I really met a new person, and it was very exciting for me.
Best thing for me to hear from a graduate of this program.
So thank you. I really enjoyed myself doing this.
I love doing this with you, and thank you for taking the initiative again.